Alright guys, I am back with another video, a 1-week update. I guess you can call this a review of the Fanatec Podium Pedals, the Formula. I have some thoughts and why I probably will be returning these in the future. So before we get started, I want to let you guys know that I am not affiliated or sponsored by Fanatec. They did not pay me to make this video, but I am going to give you my honest thoughts and opinions on these pedals. I bought these with my own money. On launch day, I was able to get the first batch. So I have some thoughts and let's get after it. So I was extremely excited and optimistic about these when I first got them, but after a week, I'm feeling a bit underwhelmed and maybe a little disappointed. So the pros, I would say the build quality. These things are built tough. You can tell they're going to last a while. Like, these are the podium pedals. You're expecting quality. Like, everything just feels like high quality. I know people had problems here with the screws stripping out on the pedal plates. I haven't had that issue. Everything's been fine. The heel cups here, haven't had any problem with them. I did get the GT plates in. Haven't had any problems with them either. Everything feels pretty solid. So another pro to these pedals is this control box. You can hook your throttle and your brake into it, and you can have this RJ cable go into your wheelbase, which I have right here. If you have a Fanatec wheelbase, you can just plug in that cable, and then you don't have to have any USB cables go into your USB hub, because my USB hub is getting pretty full. And I was just able to remove 2 of them when I took off my VRS pedals, because I have the rumble motors on there, and that took up 2 USB spots. So apart from the build quality and the ability to plug them into my wheelbase, if you're in the Fanatec ecosystem, I feel like that's kind of where the pros end. And I'd like to address some of the cons that I've been having with these pedals for the past week. Let's start with the throttle pedal. For me, this has an extremely long throw. It's a lot longer than my VRS throttle pedal. I have the pedal travel here maxed all the way out. Like, I cannot turn that no more. You can see the little nub there is all the way out. And I feel like I still can't get the throw I want. Like, it's too... People think that's not long at all, but when you're driving, you can feel it. And if I adjust the preload here, if I adjust this out, with this spring being so stiff, the throttle pedal almost turns into like a brake pedal. And it's, if you're doing like long sessions, so after about an hour, I run ovals, so my foot was to the floor most of the time, and I started to get some fatigue. I do prefer a stiffer brake pedal, but I feel like this is just too stiff. And with the throttle throw, it can get fatiguing after a while. So another issue I have with the throttle is when you go from 0 to 100, it's fine. But when you're trying to feather the throttle, I don't know if it's just this unit or if it's an early batch, but you will see, it's hard to show here, but it feels notchy. Like, it's not smooth. And when you try to feather the throttle, it's like you can't get it to where you want to go. And I've even tried to put, what did I have here? This Blaster dry lube. It's for this type of... I've used it for my old pedals too, and it works fine. That helped out for a little bit, but still, I'm still getting that like sticky... It's hard to explain here, if you can see it. It's just notchy. Now, like I said, if you go from 0 to 100, no issues. But it's where you're trying to feather the throttle out. And when you're racing, that is not acceptable. And like I said, I don't know if it's just because it's an early batch or what, but yeah, that's a big issue. Alright, so that's most of the problems I have with this pedal. Let's move over to the brake pedal. Now, I have the 2 green springs, which are the softest, and the 2 blue ones. They're the only springs that come in the box, and this pedal is still stiff. I had just one elastomer in here, and it was just too stiff. I felt like I was trying to push my foot through a concrete wall. Like it was extremely uncomfortable. And I've adjusted all these. And this has so many adjustments, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because I spent so much time trying to adjust this and get this feel right the past week that I spent less time racing. And it's kind of frustrating in a way. I've even went to go as far as to print out these 3D spacers. I have a 3D printer. I printed out these 3D spacers just to see if it will feel any different than with the other spacers in there, because the other spacers, I feel like the hole in the center, it just feels like it slops around. And when you're pushing this pedal down, I don't know if you can hear it, it's hard to tell, but when you hit a certain spot in that pedal, you're going to have like a vibration. I don't know if that's because these springs are bound up, but that is an issue. And I really haven't fixed that yet. I still have that problem. Like I said, I can't really demonstrate it. You can't really hear it, but you can feel it through the whole pedal. Like once you get to a certain spot, it's not good. It just feels like they're bound up or something. I don't know how to explain it. But I mean, I'm getting used to it, but when you're in game, it's something that you will notice. And I even have a Track Racer bass shaker. You can see it there underneath my seat. Even with that on, I have it turned up halfway. I can still feel the binding in these pedals, and it is extremely uncomfortable. And with that and the throttle pedal being just notchy the way it is, it makes driving experience not good. And with that being said, between this and the throttle pedal being sticky like this, it just makes for a very underwhelming driving experience. And it's probably one of the reasons why I'm going to be returning these pedals, because I had high hopes for these, but I just feel underwhelmed. And that's unfortunate, because I really wanted to like these pedals. So another, I wouldn't say issue, but something you need to be aware of is if you get the Formula version and you do not have a heel plate here, you are going to have a tough time reaching those pedals. And I have these all the way down to the lowest setting there. And I am a size 12 on both feet. And even with these heel cups, they're like in the perfect spot. So if you don't have these, if you don't have both these heel cups, or you don't have a pedal plate or heel plate, and you have small feet, you might have an issue reaching these pedals. So you can see I have socks on. Even with these heel cups, like my foot is barely touching the top of the pedals. It's hard to see, I know. But these are with the heel cups on. And you can see what it looks like when you have socks on, if you're racing with socks. So the reason why I've had this VRS pedal on here was to compare it to this one. And talking about the size and the pedal plate placement. This pedal here, I have it all the way maxed out at the top. And you can see this one, the Fanatec, is at its lowest spot. They're both the same height. So going back earlier, talking about the springs here, and they were binding up, that's another reason why I put my VRS pedal back on, is because when I was pressing down on this brake pedal here, it's hard to see, but like I was getting a vibration. I would go like, let's say 50% down. I was getting like this vibration through the pedal. It felt like the springs were binding up. And I'm like, maybe it's just my pedal plate. Maybe it's just flexing because the brake pedal or the load cell is rated higher than my VRS. Went back to the VRS pedal. Got the same flex in the pedal plate. It's hard to see here. And I had no issues, so that wasn't the problem. I think it's just the springs are too stiff for what this is. And I know it's a formula style pedal where they want everything to be stiff, and I understand that, but for the average person, I don't think that's going to be comfortable, and for long sessions, it's definitely not ideal. So what I did to try to get a better brake feel and to try to eliminate some of that bound up feeling I was talking about, I ordered these. These are from the Fanatec CSL pedals. I got these off of Amazon. They're not the same size and they will not fit. But what I did was I took all the springs out. I moved these two green springs down here. And I put these two up here. And that made a world of a difference. I feel like Fanatec, if you've seen Boosted Media's review of him talking about the springs and everything else that was wrong with the brake pedal, they should have included different springs or elastomers with these pedals, because that would appease a lot more people. And people that get these pedals are going to be severely, maybe not severely, but I feel like they're going to be disappointed and maybe underwhelmed by just how stiff this pedal is. And in the future, I would hope, I don't know what they're planning to do with the GT style release with the clutch pedal, but I am hoping that they come out with a different spring and elastomer package, and even a different spring for the throttle pedal as well, because that would, I feel like, that would appeal a lot more people and to a broader range, because the way these pedals are right now, I don't think people are going to enjoy the experience, because just how much fatigue and pressure it takes to use these, and for long sessions I just don't, it's hard for me to recommend these pedals. I wanted to like them. I'm not sure. I think I might just go back to my VRS pedals and wait for the VRS V2 pedals, because these things, I've had no problems with these. They're so much more adjustable. Like you see, they have slots. The Fanatec pedals, they don't. You actually got to take the screws out, each screw all the way out to make an adjustment. These things, unscrew it a little bit, slide it, screw it, tighten it, good to go. So I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about these. So before I go here, I just want to show you guys. I'm in the Fanatec app here. I'm only running, what is that, 8% brake force, and I feel like that's a comfortable spot for me. I usually ran like 30 to 50 kilograms of force on my VRS pedal. You can see 8% goes up to 26, and I feel like with how stiff the brake pedal is, for me that's a comfortable spot. And I have a dead zone set at 5. This is the custom profile, just a linear graph here. Nothing too crazy. And then for the throttle pedal, I do have a curve on here. Dead zone is at 2. I feel like with how stiff it is and long throw, I feel like that gives me the finesse I need, even with its downfalls. So that's that. That's pretty much all I got. If you guys have these pedals, I know there's probably not a lot of people that have these pedals yet, but are you guys having the same issues I am? Because I'd like to know if anybody has these. But hope you guys got some value out of this. I know I'm all over the place here. I never really did a video like this before. But hopefully you got something out of it, and maybe I helped make your decision for you. But I don't know. Anyway, something else about this control box here. Even though it does have the RJ cable and the wheelbase, sometimes it doesn't recognize my pedals, so I have to plug in the USB cord here. I think maybe the app might be just buggy right now, because you can't really calibrate your brake either. So there's that. So let me know if you guys would be interested to see my sim rig here. I might do a sim rig tour. That might be my next video, once I get everything all straightened up here. But it's kind of an older rig here. This is the Track Racer TR8 Pro. But if you guys want to see it, let me know. If not, it's okay. I'm okay. Well, that's going to do it for me. I'm done making videos. Catch you later.